essentially you start the game as a guy who's been recruited into this organisation known as the Network. You don't really know who they are. You've got one point of contact with them, your handler, who's this female character who gives you your instructions. And you think that you're going into war-torn countries to do the work that the UN won't do. As the story continues, particularly through Act 1, you start to become aware that there's something not quite right, that there's another organisation at play and someone else is kind of pulling the strings here. And that's where we start to introduce the target. One of the key themes about the target is we don't really know how old they are. So you'll see in the sort of look of the troopers, there's almost kind of like a Black Knight aesthetic to them. It looks almost like a Black Knight that's come forward a few hundred years and been dressed up in stealth gear. They kind of believe that the world's problems need to be solved in a very, very brutal way, which pretty much just involves killing everybody. Bodycount, when distilled, is really all about the guns, and it's about the feeling that you get when you pull the trigger and what happens after you pull the trigger. You'll start out with things like stealth pistols, where you can kind of take people out from a distance, not really do too much damage to the environment with them, but then over time, you're getting access to more powerful weaponry. Ultimately, you're going to get access to some of the weaponry that the target use, and that's kind of proper kind of electromechanical stuff that's really going to cause a lot of damage, both to the guys you're fighting against and to the environment around you.
He's leading a force to intercept you. Hunt him down and eliminate him.
So there are 3 acts in Bodycount. We've not really talked about the kind of later acts too much. You start off in Africa, it makes up sort of a third to almost a half of the game. But that's the above world, and we've talked about the target. You're going to get into the target buildings at some point. There are actually doorways hidden here, there and everywhere, and you have to actually use the game mechanism of collecting intel to work out where these things are. But once you get inside, you're sort of tumbling down the rabbit hole, and you're going to be in this very glossy, very high-tech environment that's a lot of fun to let rip with an AK-47 inside of, because these guys are very good at protecting the outside of their buildings, but then they're so arrogant they don't think anyone's ever going to get inside. So that's where the gameplay is really going to change up quite a lot, and that's probably going to make up about a third of the game as well. Bodycount, a new game from Codemasters Guildford Studio. It's going to be released on PS3 and 360, and it's going to be out early summer 2011.